Close your eyes and step beyond the veil of sleep into the dream realm. Tonight we journey through the dream as it was dreamt. We begin in a classroom that feels older than time itself. No windows, no doors, only waiting. In this place, truth is measured not by words, but by what is written in the unseen. An older woman stands before us, keeper of files that hold the story of who we've been and who we're becoming. Each one she opens reveals something hidden, something ready to be known. But not all lessons are spoken aloud. Some arrive as silence, as trust, as a gift placed quietly into our hands. And now, the dream realm presents the file, the bracelet, and her. Here, the night speaks in whispers and symbols, and every dream holds a hidden truth, waiting for those who dare to look deeper. Now let's begin. I walk into a classroom that feels familiar in a way I cannot place. There are no tables, no windows. The tone is dark, yet the air is charged with an energy of something sacred, maybe even ancient. There's a soft hush among the crowd of students waiting for the lesson to unfold. Each of them holds a file, small stacks of paper, folded, labeled, and bound in thin leather cases, waiting to be called forward. At the front of the room stands an older woman. Her hair is silvered, her posture straight, her face carved from years of sparing no detail. She moves with steady purpose, a stack of files in one hand, a pen in the other. One by one, she calls people up. She opens each file and speaks. I cannot hear what she says to most of them. I am standing too far back. But I see how she leans in, close to a young man's arm, tracing faded markings there. She explains what she sees as if reading from a map. People nod as she moves through and evaluates. Sometimes they smile. Sometimes they wince. Others retreat for a while, then return a few moments later, showing her markings that were previously hidden under clothing they've removed. The air carries only brief whispers, names, clarifications, fragments of exchanges. Yet beneath the older woman's words runs a deeper current of knowing. A girl standing ahead of me is called forward. I drift a step closer, drawn by the pull of the exchange. She walks with a nervous kind of stillness, her hands brushing against her sides until one rises almost unconsciously to rest against the left side of her neck. The older woman opens her file and studies it in silence, her eyes moving as though they are reading more than words. The girl waits, shoulders tense, her palms pressing harder at her neck as if guarding something fragile there. Finally, the woman looks up, her gaze steady, her voice even. She tells the girl that she must be near water, that her strength depends on it, that when she runs dry, she cannot return to her full self. The words seem simple, but they strike with the weight of understanding. The girl excels in a quick, unsteady breath, nodding again. Relief flickers across her face, the strain in her posture finally loosening. The older woman closes the file and sets it aside with care. The girl lingers for a moment, holding onto the echo of the words, then turns and leaves the classroom. Lighter, steadier, happier, with the knowing of the quiet instruction meant only for her. I wait. The woman moves through rows of faces and files, and it begins to feel like she'll never reach mine. I watch other people's files open and close, listen to fragments of conversation. There's a timing to everything, a rhythm I try to follow. Eventually the room thins and light shifts. There are no other students left. It's quiet now, the kind of stillness that feels deliberate, as if the room itself is holding its breath. At last her eyes find me, steady and unblinking. She asks where my file is. The words don't sound like a request, but like a reminder, as though she has always known its place and is testing if I know too. Her hands move slowly, deliberately. She pats through the stack beside her, then slides open a small drawer. After a brief pause, her fingers close around it. She lifts the file with a quiet, almost surprised smile. The kind of smile one gives when a long-expected thing finally shows itself. It looks small and ordinary in her hands, yet she holds it with the certainty of someone who has been expecting this moment all along. When she turns back to me, something in her presence shifts. The strict lines of authority soften, loosening into warmth. Her gaze carries not just knowledge, but visible tenderness. She no longer feels like the teacher at the front of the room, but a grandmother who has known me far longer than I can remember. She leans closer, speaking in a low, steady voice. The space between us grows intimate, as if the rest of the class had never existed. She mentions casually that people have been talking, rumors and whispers about how my path came to be, that it is too easy, that doors open for me only because I am near her, walking the same halls, working in the same place. The words are not sharp nor accusing. She delivers them with the gentleness of a concerned grandmother. I feel the weight of the topic. I ask if she is all right, if the whispers have bothered or hurt her at all. She laughs softly, a sound both light and certain, shaking her head. Of course not, she says. There is no reason to worry about me. Her voice is certain, unshakable. Then her gaze settles back on me. She asks whether I am all right under their eyes, their quiet judgments. I say I can handle it, though even as the words leave me, I do not know what form that strength will take. Still, I know I mean them. She seems satisfied with that answer. Then she reaches into her things and draws out a bracelet. It's green, deep and glossy, strung together with small polished stones. It shines when the light catches it. The crystal jade comes to mind. She hands it to me. I slip it onto my left wrist. It feels cool at first, then settles against my skin. She says nothing more about it. She only watches. And I feel a steadiness settle in my chest. Nothing dramatic, just a plain fact. The bracelet is there. She moves away after that, folding her papers neatly and sliding them back into their places. I step back from the empty desk. I leave the space where the woman had been, the hush of her presence still clinging to my skin like cool mist, and wander into another room. The air changes as I step across the threshold, less ceremonial, more intimate. And there she is, The one I have been waiting for without knowing I was waiting. She sits at a desk, bent slightly forward, the soft glow of the screen painting her face in a pale light. Her hands move across the keys with an easy rhythm, the kind that comes from knowing exactly what you're doing. The sound is small, but steady, like rain falling somewhere just out of sight. I hesitate, not wanting to disturb her, yet her nearness draws me in, a current I can't resist. Just standing in her space feels like stepping into warmth after cold air. She doesn't look up right away, but the atmosphere between us shifts with my arrival. Some quiet recognition, as if my presence has been anticipated all along. On the desk lies a pair of earphones, ordinary and waiting. On impulse, I pick one up and slip it into my ear. "Can you hear me?" I ask softly, half curious, half hopeful. She turns toward me, a flicker of surprise glinting in her eyes before it softens. She nods. "Yes," she says, and her voice arrives directly inside my ear, closer than sound, closer than breath, like she is speaking from within me. A small smile tugs at my mouth. "We could talk this way," I murmur, lowering my voice as though something might be listening. "No one would notice." She regards me with a look that carries both amusement and something more, an awareness that seems to reach past the moment into some shared, invisible history. Her eyes meet mine, and for an instant I feel the depth of our bond. I ask, "Can we talk about what's in my file now?" Her expression grows serious. "We could finally talk about what's going on between us," she says. Her words surprise me. I don't know what she means, yet I feel no resistance. There is a sense of something long suspended between us, waiting to be spoken. She leans back, her voice dropping to a whisper. "Are they really watching us that closely?" I open my mouth to answer, but before I can, the door opens and someone walks in. The moment between us collapses, the intimate connection vanishes, and the answer is written in the interruption itself. Yes, they are. And then I wake up. The dream fades, but its quiet experience remains. What was the file meant to show? What finally needed to be talked about? Why were they watching? There's something this dream was revealing. Something about the teacher, the file, the bracelet, and her. I didn't wake with answers. I woke with a feeling. But the dream never explains itself outright. It waits for us to notice, to read between the lines, to feel what the symbols are still trying to say. The story is over, but the dream is just beginning to reveal its meaning. Step with me into the next chapter, where we enter the interpretation and uncover the meaning behind the file, the bracelet, and her. Until then, let your dreams speak and listen with your heart. I'll see you soon when we meet again in the dream realm.